The camera zooms in on Bob Dylan's intense, weathered face as he sits under the glaring lights of a 60 Minutes interview. The interviewer, with a curious look, asks why Dylan continues to perform after a long career spanning over 5 decades. Dylan's response is chilling.
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I mean, I made a bargain with it, you know. I'm holding up my end.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Fame, success, accolades, musical talent. The air in the room grows heavy with tension. When asked who he made the bargain with, Dylan's answer is cryptic and alarming. With the chief of this world, this earth, and the world we cannot see. Bob Dylan is an American singer and the first songwriter to receive the Nobel Prize. This isn't the first time Dylan has hinted at such a mysterious pact. In 2008, he mentioned travelling to the Crossroads and making a deal, returning as the man he is today. The Crossroads, a legendary site in blues lore, is where musicians supposedly sell their souls for extraordinary talent. Today, we'll delve into these eerie stories and explore the dark pacts that have haunted musicians and other historical figures. Stay tuned if you dare. Dylan's transformation from Robert Zimmerman, a relatively unknown folk singer, into Bob Dylan, the voice of a generation, was nothing short of miraculous. In Martin Scorsese's documentary No Direction Home, a childhood friend recalls Dylan's early performances as just average. But after a few months in New York, Dylan returned with a level of skill that astounded everyone. Another friend described him as a shape changer, a man possessed. Dylan himself has often been evasive about the source of his inspiration and talent. His cryptic statements about a bargain with the chief of this world have led many to speculate about a supernatural influence. Who was this chief Dylan referred to? In many cultures, the chief of this world and the unseen world is often interpreted as the devil himself. The idea of making a pact with the devil for fame and fortune is a theme that has recurred throughout history, particularly in the world of music. The Crossroads, where one might make such a deal, is a powerful symbol in blues folklore. It represents a point of decision, a place where one can gain extraordinary abilities at a great personal cost. Dylan's admission brings to mind the story of Robert Johnson, the king of the Delta blues, who supposedly made his own deal with the devil at the Crossroads. Like Dylan, Johnson's rise to fame was meteoric and shrouded in mystery. So, was Dylan's success the result of hard work and talent? Or was there something more sinister at play? The answer remains elusive, but his eerie confession continues to intrigue and unsettle fans and critics alike. Let's now turn our attention to Robert Johnson, whose life and death have become the stuff of legend. Robert Leroy Johnson, born in 1911 in Mississippi, became one of the most famous guitarists, singers and songwriters in blues history. His early life was marked by hardship and struggle. He was a struggling musician until he supposedly met the devil at a crossroads. According to legend, Johnson handed over his guitar, and in return the devil tuned it, granting him unparalleled mastery of the instrument. When Johnson played again, his music had transformed, haunting, ethereal and otherworldly. His sudden rise to fame was both astonishing and alarming. His genius captivated audiences, earning him the title King of the Delta Blues. Johnson's music was mesmerizing, but it also fueled dark theories among the superstitious. His lyrics and song themes often hinted at sinister influences, with tracks like Hellhound on My Trail and Me and the Devil Blues. People marveled at his skill, but his eerie songs and the dark aura surrounding him led to suspicions of supernatural involvement. His performances were electrifying, each note filled with an intensity that seemed almost inhuman. Yet his life off stage was fraught with turmoil. He was often seen drinking heavily, and his relationships were turbulent. The night of his final performance, Johnson seemed agitated, more so than usual. The crowd at the juke joint fell silent as Robert Johnson collapsed on stage, clutching his stomach. His guitar fell to the floor with a clatter, the final note ringing eerily in the air. It was 1938, and the legendary blues musician's performance was cut short. He stumbled off stage and disappeared into the night, never to be seen alive again. Some say he was poisoned by a jealous husband. Others believe he succumbed to the devil's claim on his soul. His death was as mysterious as his life, with reports of him dying in agony, crawling on all fours and barking like a dog. Johnson's legacy lives on, his music continuing to influence generations of musicians. The story of his deal with the devil remains one of the most compelling and chilling tales in music history. It serves as a reminder of the lengths some might go for success and the dark forces that might lie in wait, ready to claim their due. Niccolò Paganini's tale is perhaps the most sinister of them all. Whispers claim that his pact with the devil began even before his birth. It was said that while pregnant, Paganini's mother made a deal with the devil to ensure her son would become a great virtuoso. The pact worked, but at a dreadful cost. By 13, Paganini's violin skills had advanced so rapidly that his master declared there was nothing more he could teach him. Paganini was a prodigy, achieving in mere years what others couldn't in lifetimes. By 15, he was already dazzling audiences with solo performances, his fingers dancing across the strings with supernatural speed and precision. Success came swiftly and overwhelmingly. Paganini was celebrated across Europe, his name synonymous with musical genius. He was adored, envied and feared. His performances were legendary, each one more astounding than the last. But with his meteoric rise came a descent into darkness. Despite his immense talent, Paganini's life was plagued by torment. He spiraled into depression, seeking solace in alcohol. Fame brought him into the shadowy realms of gambling and womanizing, further consuming him. As his behavior grew more erratic, sinister rumors began to spread. One particularly grotesque story claimed that Paganini had seduced and murdered a woman, using her intestines as violin strings and trapping her soul within his instrument. These tales, though extreme, were fueled by Paganini's unsettling presence. His extraordinary skills seemed almost inhuman. He could play 12 notes per second, and his mastery of complex techniques was effortless. The violin, often called the devil's instrument, seemed eerily fitting. It wasn't just his talent that unnerved people, it was his appearance. Paganini had unnaturally long fingers with immaculate nails, ghostly pale skin, hollow cheeks and thin lips. His tall skeletal frame, always draped in black, made him look like a figure from a nightmare. Many believed he was the devil incarnate. During one electrifying performance, a bolt of lightning allegedly struck as Paganini bowed, and a terrified audience member claimed to see a supernatural figure assisting him. As years passed, age and disease ravaged his body, yet his legend only grew. Eventually, Paganini died of larynx cancer, but his story didn't end with his death. One of his final acts was to refuse the last rites offered by priests, a decision many saw as proof of his pact with the devil. After his death, the church refused to bury his body. For years, his corpse was moved from place to place, unable to find peace. It wasn't until Pope Gregory finally forgave him that Paganini was laid to rest in Parma, northern Italy. The tale of Niccolò Paganini is a haunting reminder of the terrifying price of extraordinary talent and success when it comes from a deal with the devil. Johann Georg Faust, a German doctor from the 15th and early 16th centuries, was a mysterious figure. For about 30 years he travelled across Europe, performing magic tricks, reading horoscopes, and often being accused of fraud. He claimed to be a doctor, a philosopher, an alchemist, and an astrologer. Faust's quest for ultimate knowledge led him to a dangerous path. According to legend, he made a pact with the devil, exchanging his soul for vast knowledge and magical abilities. This tale has been told many times by writers like Marlowe and Goethe, turning Faust's story into a timeless warning about the dangers of ambition. During his travels, Faust appeared at the University of Erfurt in central Germany. It is said that when he lectured on Homer, he conjured up Homer's heroes for his students. However, he was expelled from Erfurt by the Franciscan monk Dr. Klinger. Dr. Klinger asked Faust to repent, but Faust refused the monk's offer of intervention. He admitted to having signed a pact with the devil and claimed he trusted the devil more than God. Despite his reputation, Faust was a man of many talents. He was often seen with a dog and a horse, and it was believed the dog could turn into a servant. Faust even had many magical books or grimoires linked to him, although most scholars of his time dismissed his magical powers. Important people like Martin Luther took him seriously. Faust was frequently accused of fraud and other crimes and was eventually banned from many cities. But the strangest part of his story happened after his death. He died in a chemical explosion and his body was found horribly deformed. Some believe this was the devil's work, twisting Faust's body into a monstrous shape. Even more bizarre, Faust's body, no matter how many times it was laid on its back, always ended up facing down towards the earth. This is the real story of Faust, or rather, the man known as Faust. Historians believe that Faust was just a name he used, and his true identity and the exact nature of his deal with the devil might never be known. His tale continues to serve as a cautionary example of the perils of dealing with dark forces for personal gain. Among the many eerie tales of deals with the devil, the story of Bernard Fokke stands out as one of the most spine-chilling. In the 17th century, the Dutch Empire ruled the seas, its power and wealth fueled by the spice trade from distant colonies like Jakarta, Indonesia. Spices were as precious as gold, but the journey to get them from Indonesia to the Netherlands was perilous and could take a year, fraught with dangers like pirates, storms and deadly diseases. Yet Captain Bernard Fokke consistently completed this treacherous journey in just 3 months. Imagine that, no Suez Canal, only the vast unpredictable oceans stretching around Europe, Africa and Asia. Even modern ships would find such a feat nearly impossible. But Fokke did it again and again in an age when even the fastest ships took months to make the trip. The records showed his astonishing journey times were real. Letters from the time confirmed it, and there were no signs of forgery. Witnesses described Fokke as a menacing figure, his presence alone enough to instill fear. He ruled his crew with an iron fist, their lives a constant nightmare under his brutal command. But there was a darker whisper that followed Fokke, a rumour that explained his impossible speed. People said Fokke had sold his soul to the devil himself to become the fastest sailor who ever lived. The devil, eager to claim another soul, granted Fokke's wish, transforming his ship with supernatural powers. The vessel cut through the waves at impossible speeds, defying the laws of nature. Fokke became a legend, the fastest and most renowned sailor of his age. But as with all devilish deals, there was a price to pay. The devil returned to claim his due, condemning Fokke and his ship to an eternal fate. Cursed to roam the oceans forever, Fokke became the captain of the ghost ship known as the Flying Dutchman, doomed never to find a safe harbour again. Since its first haunting sighting near the Cape of Good Hope in 1709, the ghostly image of the Flying Dutchman has terrorised sailors, a grim reminder of the ultimate cost of bargaining with the devil. As you ponder what you might sell your soul for, remember the chilling fate of those who have tried before. The tales of Bob Dylan, Robert Johnson, Niccolò Paganini, Johann Georg Faust and Bernard Fokke are chilling reminders of the lengths some may go to achieve greatness. These stories share a common theme, the allure of a deal with the devil and the dire consequences that follow. From the haunting melodies of Johnson and Paganini to the eerie legend of the Flying Dutchman, these narratives captivate and terrify. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Stay curious and beware of the deals you make. Thanks for watching and take care everyone.